It's been over 6 years, but tonight the A's return to Busch Stadium for an interleague three-game set versus one of the most storied franchises in all of baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals. The A's just took 2 out of 3 from the first-place Cleveland Indians and are playing some good baseball. The Cardinals are in the thick of the wild card race, and the A's come to town to disrupt the Redbirds' playoff party. It's game 1 of 3. A's, Cardinals, next. Busch Stadium in St. Louis, a hot, humid night. It is the last interleague series of the year for the Athletics. The first of 3 from St. Louis, the A's and the Cardinals coming up on CSN, California. Hey again, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, for the Cardinals, they've made the postseason 5 years in a row. Seems like they go every year, and they got a pretty good chance this year, though they're not going to win their division, Ray. They're going to have to do it through the wild card. But as always, this is a very good St. Louis Cardinals team.
And this is Mike Matheny. Never managed before he came to the Cardinals. He's gone to postseason every year for himself. But Brandon Moss, look what he has done. 25 home runs, but they hit a lot of home runs. They have the most in the National League. They play better on the road than they do at home. And I think the biggest thing for them, they have guys on the disabled list, some notable guys, but the bottom line, they're in a division that they right now have to play for wild card, and every game for them is very important. But I think for Brandon Moss, he's doing something here that we knew he could do in Oakland, and that's hit left-handers. He had a home run last night against a lefty. He's in the lineup again tonight against the lefty Detweiler.
Yeah, he's batting third. How
That's
about
right,
that?
yeah.
So, speaking of the A's, how about Ryan Healy? He's got an 11-game hitting streak, and he's coming off a big series against the Cleveland Indians. And let's not forget, the Indians have a terrific pitching staff.
And the one thing about Ryan Healy, I think Darren Bush said it best. He sits on the fastball. Watch this curveball that he gets here against Bauer. A base hit. He's hit curveballs unbelievably in his young career. Of course, he can handle a fastball, pull the hands in quickly inside. We didn't even talk about his defense. It's been outstanding. 11-game hitting streak for the A's third baseman. He's going to be a fixture on this ball club. We just don't know where, whether it's at third base, first base, but he's going to be in the lineup for a long time.
All right, pitching matchup tonight, Ross Detweiler for the A's and Luke Weaver, a rookie making just his 3rd major league start, will pitch for the St. Louis Cardinals. Up next, we will head back to the A's pregame live studios, and then after that, we'll check in on the last time the A's came to St. Louis. A's baseball, along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, for the Cardinals, they've made the postseason 5 years in a row. Seems like they go every year, and they got a pretty good chance this year, although they're not going to win their division, Ray. They're going to have to do it through the wild card. But as always, this is a very good St. Louis Cardinals team.
And this is Mike Matheny. Never managed before he came to the Cardinals. He's gone to postseason every year for himself. But Brandon Moss, look what he has done. 25 home runs, but they hit a lot of home runs. They have the most in the National League. They play.
On CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brew House Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. By Toyota. Toyota's Labor Day clearance event is here. For Labor Day only, get $2,500 total cash back on the redesigned 2016 Prius. Toyota, let's go places. And by America's Tire. Your low-price journey starts here.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We are just minutes away from first pitch, A's and the Cardinals. True Story is brought to you by McDonald's. It's A's last visit to Busch Stadium. It was June of 2010. The A's lost 2 out of 3 in Game 1 on Friday night. It was Skip Shoemaker with a go-ahead RBI double in the 7th inning off Brad Ziegler, and the Cardinals won Game 1 by a final score of 6-4. Then on Saturday night, Game 2, Matt Holliday hurts his former team. He hits a 2-run homer off Ben Sheets, and the Cardinals would hang on and beat the A's 4-3. And then on Sunday afternoon, very hot weekend in St. Louis. Trevor Cahill was terrific. He strikes out 7. Cahill got the win, and Mark Ellis with a sacrifice fly in the 8th inning for the go-ahead run, and the A's would salvage the final game of the series. So the A's last visit to Busch, that is our McDonald's True Stories. When we come back, we'll have lineups in first pitch. It's the A's and the Cardinals from St. Louis. Stick around. Welcome back to Busch Stadium here in St. Louis as we are just moments away from first pitch. The A's and the Cardinals interleague baseball from a National League city. Let's look at the game time weather for tonight, presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. There's the arch. You can see that out in deep, deep, deep right center field. 85 degrees. It's very hot and it's very humid. There's some dark clouds hovering above us. We hope they stay away, but they're looming. But we don't want to worry about that. There's a good look at Busch Stadium. Beautiful structure. It's been here since 2006, so it's 11th year, and it is one of the very, very nice ballparks around Major League Baseball, and there's a lot of them. See out past left center field, that's the ballpark village. In fact, it's great, Ray. See the Cardinals Nation sign, right? And you see those seats underneath. Good seats, right? Well, they're not part of the ballpark. There's actually a street between the stadium and then the Cardinal Nation buildings, the Budweiser sign, and there's a street that goes between there.
It's
and
like
that
Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field.
Much like Wrigley Field. So one of the cool parts of this ballpark and the surrounding areas as the Cardinals and the all-whites take the field behind their young starting pitcher Luke Weaver. So let's look at the lineup tonight for the Athletics. It starts with that man, Coco Crisp. He'll be in the leadoff spot. Coco's going to play center field tonight. Then Danny Valencia is in right. Stephen Vogt will catch. Chris Davis in the cleanup spot. He'll be in left field. And Yonder Alonso at first. Brian Healy at third. Marcus Simeon's back. He's a father, so he's definitely got something to play for now. Young son Isaiah. So Marcus Simeon and Max Muncy, and then the pitcher Detweiler.
Well, in 2014, it was 27th overall, #1 draft choice of the St. Louis Cardinals, and here he is in the big leagues. His debut at Busch Stadium. He's pitched a couple of times on the road. You see the record. He is 0-1, but he is making his third major league start tonight. A young man is predominantly a fastball pitcher. He does throw a cutter in addition to the 2- and 4-seam fastball, so that's the reason you're going to see a lot of fastballs and cut fastballs in addition to curveball and changeup. But flat build cap, of course, makes that Jack Kuiper very happy to see somebody in the major leagues with a flat bill, but he's pitching tonight, first time ever here at Busch.
So the defense for the Cardinals. Tommy Pham is in left field. Randall Grichuk in center. Stephen Piscotty is in right. Johnny Peralta, Jed Jerko, Matt Carpenter, Brandon Moss third to first, and the veteran Yadier Molina is the catcher.
Perennial Gold Glover, Platinum Gold, another former catcher, Mike Matheny, their manager. 4-time Gold Glover, 5th season, 4 years in a row. They say the first time ever that a major league manager has gone to postseason in each of his first 4 seasons. But Mike Matheny is a good one, and unfortunately, career may have ended prematurely just because of too many foul balls off the mask. He was good, though.
So Luke Weaver has finished his warm-up tosses, and we are set for baseball as Coco Crisp steps in. The crowd still filing in. There will be very few empty seats. That's the way it is here in St. Louis.
The amazing thing that so many things going on outside of the stadium. Restaurants, beverage establishments. And so they will eventually make their way in to watch a baseball game tonight.
2-0 to Coco Crisp, hitting .237 with 11 home runs.
Well, we have to remember that this is a National League city, which means the pitcher hits, which means there's no DH. And so different type of moves that managers have to make. And this tonight might have been the longest time ever for ground rules to be explained to both managers, or at least to the A's manager. I'm sure Bob Melvin, as Cardinals well aware.
There's Field and Culbreth. He's the crew chief, and he's calling balls and strikes tonight. Coco hooks one down the right field line, and it's just foul. Not by much.
I think one thing to look for tonight and for this weekend is Coco gets the changeup off the end of the bat and just hooked it too much. Just barely foul. And this is a baseball only stadium. Football stadium across from the hotel where we're staying no longer houses the Rams as they moved out west. But you don't figure to see pitchers shaking Yadier Molina off in this 3-game series.
And at the knees, strike 3 called. Coco disagrees, and that's how the ball game starts. So low strike by Field and Culver.
Yeah, very low, and Coco normally is going to be swinging, but if he gets that call, then maybe that sets the tone for the game as far as what hitters have to do. But that's a lower part of the strike zone, and you're right, Coco didn't like it. And now he's going to say something perhaps to Field and Culberth on his way back to dugout very quietly. Nope.
So there's the breakdown for Luke Weaver. Again, just his 3rd big league start. As Ray mentioned, first-round pick of the Cardinals. Not a lot of time in the minor leagues. So
Zach Neal, who's pitching tomorrow night for the A's. Over 700 innings of minor league baseball. This young man barely over 100.
Yep. Yeah, only 38 minor league starts. So, and his draft was 2014. So really only a couple years in the minor leagues. But the Cardinals a little beat up.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that as the weekend goes on. And so they needed this young man, just 23 years old. 6'2", 170 pounds. Florida State is where he went to college. Good season in the minors. Terrific season in the minors.
Part of that draft also from the A's standpoint, they picked Matt Chapman, young third baseman that we're all aware of, that will be in the big league sooner than later. Right now not on the 40-man roster. They can protect him because he just was drafted in 14.
Outs to Brandon Moss. Valencia is out. 2 outs here in the first. And that'll bring up Stephen Vogt. Stephen Vogt decides it's time to pull the pen lead. Which generally means the guy's probably struggling a little bit. And Stephen's 0 for his last 13, so the pant legs come up.
Well, he's struggling maybe swinging the bat as far as hits, but he is doing a tremendous job behind the plate, and that's what Stephen really takes a lot of pride in his catching. Of course, he can watch Yadier Molina when he's not hitting or behind the plate himself. As Molina, if he doesn't win a Gold Glove, there's something wrong. Everybody's kind of chasing him.
Here he is, the veteran.
One of the 3 Molinas. Benji, Jose, and Yadier. The other 2, first 2 mentioned, I don't think are playing any longer. Yadier, the youngest.
Flare down the left field line, and it'll drop into the seats. 8 consecutive Gold Glove awards for Yadier Molina.
Well, you got Johnny Bench and Pudge Rodriguez, probably the other 2. He's 3rd, but bottom line, he wins the platinum now as the best all around. And as long as he plays, you figure he is going to get, or going to be able to receive the Rawlings Gold Glove annually.
2-2 the count to Vogt.
And I think he probably maybe the fastest of the 3. Benji did hit for the cycle in Boston. Jose, not fast.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're really going out on a limb there, but I think you're right. Stephen Vogt strikes out. Good first inning for the young right-hander, Luke Weaver. Cardinals come to bat when we come back. Today for our favorite kid. Look at that young man.
That's great.
He's got a good game face too. He has not smiled. He's ready to go. Lineup for the Cardinals: Carpenter, Jerko, Moss, Piscotty, Molina, Peralta, Krychek, Pham, and Weaver. That's your Cardinals lineup.
And Ross Detweiler, I'm sure, very happy to be pitching tonight at Busch Stadium, as he is 1-2 on the season and won his first start. That was against the Orioles. Won 8 innings, shutout innings, but the next 2 against Texas and Chicago, a total of 8 2/3 innings. It's the .591 earned run average and the 1-2 record. So hopes to pitch well tonight. Back to the Baltimore Orioles type game.
And his first pitch to Matt Carpenter is in for a strike. Carpenter, Jerko, Moss. Carpenter 282, 16 homers, 57 RBIs. Another very solid season for Carpenter. He's one of the more consistent players in the National League. Matt Carpenter.
And as you can see right off the bat, does not use batting gloves, which you don't see a lot of players anymore. And Stephen Vogt, same. Wraps his hand around the pine tar just above the handle.
A little flare. Coco broke back, comes in, and he's not going to be able to get it. So Carpenter drops the single into center field. Let's take a quick look at the A's defense for tonight. Davis at left, Crispin center, Valencia in right, Healy at third, Simeon at short, Muncy at second, Alonso at first with both catching. It looked like Coco broke back on that ball, and then he just could not get to it, and it drops for a base hit.
Been playing a lot of mostly in left field when he does not DH, and the one thing that you play in center, you go to the big swing and you have that tendency to break back a little bit, unfortunately.
So with the leadoff man aboard, here's Jed Jerko. 21 homers, 45 RBIs, and a .249 batting average. Bounce foul. Ross Detweiler grew up nearby in Wentzville, which is, we're told, about a half hour west of here. If you're a half hour west of here, the bet is you grew up a Cardinals fan.
Absolutely. Since there's nobody else around.
So he's probably got the family and friends pass list going tonight. Wentzville Holt High School in St. Charles County.
You know that when the luggage arrived last night, he got his and he left.
Awesome.
Went home, which is great. Gets to spend the weekend at home.
That one driven to center. It's hit a ton. Coco's back at the wall. Gone. Jerko, a long 2-run homer here in the first, and the Cardinals take an early 2-0 lead.
Well, he got a fastball, and he did not miss it. Right center field, and crushed. And Pat, you said it best. This team can hit some home runs, and Jerko sprinted out of the box, but shut it down when he saw Coco's back and saw where the ball was going up to the grassy area in center field. And with this weather, the humidity and the warmth, the ball will carry quite well. Not that they need much help.
So 22nd home run of the year for Jed Jerko, who is, after a slow start, has really been hot as of late. This is Brandon Moss, who takes the strike. It's 0-2 to Moss. Moss had .267, 25 homers, 60 RBIs. So 182 home runs for the Cardinals. They lead the National League in that category. They're third in the National League in runs scored, first in home runs. So they rely on the long ball. They do not steal bases. The fewest stolen bases in the National League, just 28. So that's not happening. But they can launch. They're second in the league in slugging, second in doubles, so they're a dangerous offensive team.
And this guy, 25 home runs. Brandon Moss, 2 last night. He will do that. He'll strike you out a few times, but he has faced the lefty tonight. Got the high fastball from Detweiler, who this is the 3rd home run he's given up since making his now 4th start. High fastball to Brandon Moss after 3 consecutive breaking pitches. Matt Adams, the big first baseman on the disabled list. So Brandon Moss, who's capable of playing both first base and the outfield, is at first base tonight.
Here's Stephen Biscotti. Reaches after the first pitch towards Alonso in foul territory, and Alonso makes the catch.
Time now for the Nissan Keys the game. How about the starting pitcher? Well, we talked about him returning home. Ross Detweiler grew up a Cardinal fan and returning home to pitch here at Busch Stadium, one of the best stadiums in baseball. And for the Athletics, the final 3 interleague games, and that means one thing: pitchers get to hit in the American League, and those pitchers who probably have not picked up a bat in a long time will try to do it tonight, and they've been working on it last week or so with Mike Aldredier's first base coach on learning how to bunt, because that's all they're asked to do more than anything.
So 0-1 to Yadier Molina. 289 with 4 homers and 40 RBIs for Molina. Always aggressive, and the count is 0-2. Yadier Molina now 34 years old. He turned 34 in July. Good pitch at the knee, strike 3 called. What a home run by Jed Jerko, a 2-run shot, and the Cardinals lead 2-0 after 1. Brought to you by AAA. Get a free Ace Cap with a new AAA membership. Visit a participating AAA branch by August 30th. Restrictions apply. There's the arch. Now look far to the right. See to the right, that building with the moving roof? That's our hotel. It's attached to a casino. So,
moving roof?
If that's your thing. Yeah, not moving roof. That's not correct. It's got the
rotating?
The color.
Yeah. But you know, it's nice here too, Cap. When you look in the grass, they have the arch in the grass.
Yes, they do.
The cut of the arch in the grass, which is good. Got the arch over right center field, downtown stadium. And Chris Davis, get airborne. Let's go to the brew house.
First pitch to Chris Davis, just a touch outside. Davis, Alonso, and Healy against Luke Weaver here in the second. Chris Davis played a fair amount here. His A couple years in Milwaukee, so he knows all about this ballpark. And hit high and foul. So 1-1 the count.
Think about all the new stadiums, and of course this is the third here in St. Louis. Sportsman, Busch 1, and now 2. This is right at the top of the list. I mean, it is a beautiful stadium, a lot of things going on, but it's baseball at its best. A sea of red. Seats are red, but the fans come out and support the team. And that's the downtown look, the arch over the right center field wall. Buildings, office buildings downtown. The Big Mac land in left field, of course, notable when Big Mac played here.
Well, we have fans ask us all the time, hey, what's your favorite ballpark? And it's very, very difficult to choose. I mean, you have obviously some that you like better, but there's so many nice ones now. We don't come here very often, but when you are here, you look around and you say, well, this is as nice as any of them.
Absolutely.
Outs toward third. Peralta. Hayes made a trade yesterday. They sent the veteran left-hander Mark Zipchinski to the Washington Nationals. They got a young infielder by the name of Max Schrock. Left-handed hitter from what we understand.
Remember around the trading deadline, someone said as we were boarding the plane in Cleveland, said, where's Zipchinski? And he ended up being there, you know. And then I mentioned that to him. He said, that's probably because I get traded every trading deadline.
He does.
Well, this time
he was
waited.
here for a while.
He
right?
was, yeah.
Whoa. That one is belted. Right center. And that baby's gone. Alonso gets the A's on the board with a long home run, his 7th of the year.
Sounded great off his bat. It does not take much in right center field, and 2-run home run. Like Gurka, and this just, if you can, well, you're not going to hear the slow-mo, but X-mo. But this ball was crushed, fastball first pitch. And Yonder Alonso, who there's the sound, and great sound as the ball left his bat and carried perfectly over the 8-foot wall in the outfield.
So here's Ryan Healy. So 3rd of his 7 home runs that he's hit on the first pitch.
Right, don't try to sneak a fastball by him. Try to get a strike.
The 1-1 the count to Healy. Home run estimated at 420 feet. Bit more on Mark Zipchinski, right? He has now been with Toronto, St. Louis, Cleveland, San Diego, the A's, and now the Washington Nationals. But he did a good job for the A's. He was going to be he is going to be a free agent after this year. So I can't say that him being traded was a total surprise.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, you look at a couple years ago, he's got Luke Gregerson, and he's going to be a free agent, and great setup man with a great slider. He ended up being a closer for the Astros, signed a 3-year deal with them.
Jerko has it. Throws across, 2 outs. So we wish Mark Zipchinski the best of luck with the Nationals. Going to a team that's got an 8-game lead in the National League East, so he's got a real good chance to pitch in postseason.
Well, and that's a good point there, Kite, because this is the 26th of August. You have to be traded to a team prior to the end of the month to be eligible for postseason for that team. Of course, you have to be able to clear waivers, which I'm sure he did, or he had to be able to go, which means you go through and nobody claims you and you can be traded. We're saying downstairs that Ruiz was traded to Los Angeles for A.J. Ellis.
A.J. Ellis, yeah.
That's a
controversial.
Yeah.
Controversial, not so much because of, well, I mean, talking a couple of veteran catchers as Marcus Semien drives him toward the gap in left center. Marcus will hustle for second, and he'll have a sliding 2-out double.
Not bad. They take 4 days off and come back with the first at bat, second pitch, and hit a double. Of course, Scott mentioned earlier, a new father, and gets a breaking ball coming in. Actually, a backup breaking ball, and hammers it to left center field, able to hustle into second. Yeah, it's worth it, though.
Yeah, he had a feeling it was coming, but he's got a brand new son, he and his wife. Isaiah. I like that name.
That's right. See how they pitch or what they do with Max Muncy, and you know, we must emphasize the fact that the 8th place hitter, first base open, you do not have to pitch to him with the pitcher in the on deck circle, and pitchers in the American League just, well, they don't hit. You ask guys, say, well, I haven't picked up a bat in 5 years. They're going right after Muncy, though.
Muncy now behind him, count 0-2, and I think there is an art to being an 8th place hitter in the National League, and you got to expand your strike zone a little bit. But Muncy, you got to rip at that last pitch.
It's right down the middle.
I mean, you have to.
There it is again.
He took 3 fastballs and did not swing the bat one time. So Muncy strikes out. Simeon at second. He's going to run on Yonder Alonso's home run, his 7th of the year. 2-1, Cardinals lead. Ace Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by 21st Amendment Brewery. Join 21st Amendment Brewery Meet tomorrow for their anniversary bash. A free day of live music, great beer and food. Go to 21stamendment.com for more information. That's across the street in the ballpark village. People enjoying themselves.
You know those A's fans, all right? Come back to the Midwest, St. Louis, and feel the great weather, the warmth of this beautiful city.
Peralta, Grichuk, and Pham for the Cardinals. This one's hit high into the air, shallow, right toward the line. Valencia makes the catch. So, Ray, you mentioned briefly the A.J. Ellis Carlos Ruiz trade. Now, as far as the two players, they're both backup catchers.
Right.
Ruiz is toward the end of his career, still somewhat productive. Ellis, kind of a good defense, doesn't hit a lot. But for two backup catchers being traded for each other, it's been a controversial trade. Were you surprised?
I was.
As about the trade and about, I guess, sort of the reaction?
Well, the one thing we have to understand or realize now, what about Clayton Kershaw? Because Ellis was, I would say, he's his personal catcher.
Yep.
And now, does that mean that they trade him and Grandal's going to catch more and catch all the time, or what is Clayton Kershaw coming back? You know,
well, it sounds like he probably will.
I know he's supposed to. You'd think. I mean, he's got. You know, you're dealing with the back. Anything can happen, but we have to hope he's coming back. But that was strange, and I was told downstairs and reacting the same way now, that a little surprised.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were.
Which again, it's a waiver deal, so both players had to clear waivers.
And it's really, it's sort of, you're weighing one thing against the other. Ruiz has hit well against left-handed pitching in his career. That's why he was acquired. Ellis struggled offensively. So production-wise, there may be a little bit of a shift. Valencia's got to hustle back on this one, and he makes a nice catch. Goes down on the warning track. Nicely done by Danny Valencia.
Probably hit a little bit harder than everybody thought, as Grichuk going to the right side very aggressively and to the warning track, hitting the warning track hard, but Valencia showing his ability to play not only third base, which he did, right field, first base, and this time an excellent play robbing Grichuk of extra bases. The way he went to the ground, if it got over his head, he might have gotten 3.
Here's Tommy Pham.
Hey, Stephen Moe got hit.
Danny Valencia said a little tough to see off the bat. But to finish our thought, I guess you're really weighing maybe a little bit better production, but is there, what about the clubhouse reaction?
Yes,
and there was major disappointment. So it's a tough read for everybody involved. The Dodgers front office said, we need a little more production.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But I think the players were disappointed. He's, from what we understand, a very, very popular player.
Well, and too, Cap, you're looking at, sure, he may not be the offensive player, but what he does behind the plate. He's been a veteran handling the pitching staff, and pitchers will tell you that give me a catcher who can call a game and handle me and block balls.
And you don't need offense when Kershaw's pitching.
No, you don't. You really don't. And with that ball club, you don't need much offense anyway, especially from that position.
Well, and that's too is the clubhouse think this is a team now that has overtaken the Giants. They're in first place. They're playing very well right now. Do you at all disrupt that? Who knows? It's, you know.
That's right. It's a check swing, no call by the first base umpire. And like Max Muncy, Detwiler going after the 8th place hitter.
So 3-2 now. How about this? Lowest catcher's ERA since 2004.
Amazing.
A.J. Ellis on top. And it certainly helps that you're catching Clayton Kershaw, but it helps to keep your best player happy as well.
That's true.
Pham takes the walk. So 2-0 walk, and Weaver will hit.
Now, we talked about Max Muncy hitting 8th in front of Detwiler. He struck out on 3 pitches. The theory is that if you can get the 8th place hitter, you have the pitcher leading off the next inning, which Detwiler will lead off for the A's in the 3rd. And in this case, the Cardinals trying to get Weaver to hit in the inning. The 8th place hitter trying to get on base with 2 outs to let the pitcher come up and hit. Yes, he's hitting .666. He's 2 for 3. But bottom line, he hasn't hit that much. And even last night with Wainwright, who's an excellent hitter, they intentionally walked the hitter in front of him to pitch to him. He struck out with the bases loaded. So it's the pitchers hit every 5th day if they're starting pitcher. Position players hit every day. So it's a bonus. It's obviously a bonus if a pitcher can get a hit. The most important thing in this case, you get him out by hitting him in this inning.
The 1-1 to Weaver. Not a bad swing, but it's 0-2.
And let's not forget, pitchers in the National League take batting practice every day. And they try to do that. They try to leave the yard with that kind of swing. And that's why they hit every day. They're not concerned about them getting hurt because they do swing the bat every day, but they also need to bunt.
Strike 3 called, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Ross Detwiler. So we're headed to the 3rd from St. Louis. Cardinals 2, A's 1. Time now for a forward right choice Wednesday at the Coliseum. Kendall Graveman, nicely done under the sunshine. Got his 10th win. Did it against a good Indians team. Pitched into the 7th inning. Gave up just a run, a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts, 102 pitches. And Ray, it looks like the young man is starting to figure it all out.
Well, he had 13 ground ball outs in his previous start against the White Sox when he went the distance. A 2-hit shutout. 10 ground ball outs in this start. So back to ground ball outs and 10 wins for him. We saw with Quintana how happy he was to get his 10th win. Here's Kendall Graveman, very young in his career. He did that also. A great job for him to pick up his win. But I also asked Stephen Vogt, because the on-plate umpire, there are some pitches, and you see Molina tonight with the left-handers calling the fastball, the two-seamer inside. And I asked Stephen Vogt, I said, how many pitches were missed? And he goes, too many in the first inning. And so he said, you know, he had a little conversation with the home plate umpire, and wouldn't say that that convinced him, but it did get better.
1-1 the count to the pitcher, Ross Detweiler. Chris to follow, and then Valencia here in the top of the 3rd. Detweiler fouls it back to
get
the
that ball. Contact.
Get it authenticated.
Well, the good thing that Ross Detweiler gets to swing the bat. Spring training, of course, the A's did not play a game in a National League Park in which they had to use the pitcher to hit. But regular season's a different story.
So right on the outside corner. That's 4 strikeouts. One of the problems for the Cardinals this year is look how long this list is, and look at the names.
Yeah.
There's some big shots on there, folks. It was Holiday, Adams, shortstop Diaz, who was an all-star.
Yeah.
Lance Lynn is out for the year. Waka's very good. He's out with a shoulder. The closer, Rosenthal. I mean, look at that. Jordan Walden's out for the year. Seth Manis is out for the year. I mean, there's talented names on that list, and they're just trying to get through. And every team has injuries, but that's a pretty long list of important people.
Yeah, well, the Dodgers might have 27 on the DL.
27.
Or used the DL 27 times, but those are prominent names that you just showed there. And you take Matt Holliday out of the middle of this lineup, a power hitter. Already with a team that hits a lot of home runs, and now he's not playing.
And the Cardinals are very well known for having a terrific farm system and good depth, and that depth is being tested. They're hanging in there. They're 67-59 out of the Cardinals. They're not going to win their division, but right now they're the 2nd wild card team in the National. But the pitching is they're just trying to piece it together right now. There's a line drive, left field. Pham's going to play it out.
The Cardinals definitely one team that has to be happy there is a wild card and a double wild card. Outside fastball, and Coco worked the count to 3-1 and got the fastball running away from him, and then gets to first base and gives a little jab at his former teammate Brandon Moss. So Moss has got to love this. He loves to talk anyway, and now he's got his former team. Guys get at first base.
Look at him. Well, it's not a new audience for Moss, but it's an audience that gets his humor.
Exactly.
That one's drilled to left. Pham is there. Valencia hit it hard. This is the National League wild card standings. See the Giants, the #1 wild card, Cardinals 2, but it's still close. Miami's right there, Pittsburgh's there, the Mets. So that's how the National League wild card looks. Nothing you can do about the National League Central, though, with the Cubs, who are have a winning percentage of .643. Cubs are 81-45.
Can you imagine this stadium or Wrigley Field when these two teams get together? You have a sea of red here, and then when the Cubs come in, there's probably a lot of blues splattered around the stadium, if not huge numbers, as we saw at the Coliseum.
That's good stuff.
But yes, they had a tremendous rivalry between the Cubs and the Cardinals, and this year for the Cardinals, they're trying to catch the Cubs or at least get in postseason, whereas they know the Cubs have the division.
Outside to Stephen Vogt. Well, gone from last year's Cardinals team. Remember John Lackey. John Lackey had a good year, so you lose Lackey and you lose Lance Lynn due to injury. Or Jason Hayward, 1 year here with the Cardinals. A couple guys gone. The Cardinals don't necessarily add a lot of people. This year they added Mike Leake and Jed Jerko. That's really it. But they're good every year.
Like Matt Carpenter was checking out their diamond vision here, checking all the numbers for Stephen Vogt, learning as much as he could about.
Down the left field line, headed for the seats and foul. So 2-1 now to Stephen Vogt, who struck out in the first. Cardinals have been to the postseason 5 straight years. Lost the World Series in 2013. Of course, won the World Series in 2011. Missed again, 3-1.
And that 2011 season, Lance Fertoli was the most improbable winning. I mean, that just from where the 2006, their first year here at this new stadium, they won it. John Rooney was the broadcaster for the White Sox in 2005 when they won it there. Comes over to St. Louis, they won it in 2006.
Smart man.
Yeah. Gets to work with the great Mike Shannon here in St. Louis. Yadier Molina setting up outside pretty consistently. Occasionally will go inside to the right-hander. When he goes inside, he really moves off the plate in, as he's doing right now.
Another pop-up foul. Funny, Ray, you show that 2011 banner, and Cardinals have won a lot of World Series. They won 11, and the fans are thinking, you know what? 2011 was great. It was a great year, and we won the World Series, and that's awesome. But for another franchise, the Texas Rangers, it just tears them up still.
Absolutely.
And it will until they win a World Series.
Absolutely. You're right.
They will not be able to think about the 2011 World Series.
And don't bring up David Freese in Texas.
No, I mean, it's tough. Stephen Vogt swings and misses. So a couple of strikeouts for Weaver in the inning. He's got 5 in the game. Cardinals 2, A's 1 as we go to the bottom of the third. Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads. Nothing makes barbecue taste as good as a generous helping of 100% pure, unfiltered Santa Cruz Mountain Moonlight. 2-1, Cardinals lead the A's, bottom of the third. It's a good A's fan wearing the gold tonight.
He's not happy either. No. His team's trailing.
It's early yet. It's good plate of food there. Detweiler facing the top of this Cardinals order. Carpenter led off the bottom of the first with a single, then Jerko homered. Swing and a miss. So that is strikeout number 4 for Ross Detweiler, who has settled in nicely after giving up the home run to this next hitter.
Maybe just a few nerves or something. Who knows? But first 2 batters, but 3 pitches and 3 strikes to this leadoff hitter this time.
First pitch, a bit outside. Rangers and the Indians playing again tonight in Texas. The Indians with a 1-0 lead in the 4th. Last night the Rangers won 9-0, so that's a 4-game series. 2 teams could meet in the postseason somewhere. Most home runs since All-Star break. Jerko has 16. Chris Davis with 14. 15, excuse me, for Jerko. And that one with a little action on it. Muncy makes the catch. We could see that from up here.
That was, talk about a knuckler. What a great reaction and recovery by Max Muncy. He played in the shift. Looked like a base hit up the middle. Watch this ball. Watch this. Ooh, and then watch it go back the other direction. Talk about a knuckler. Well, Detweiler very happy that he's there and makes the catch.
So 2 outs, and here's Brandon Moss.
Yeah, still safer pitchers with all the shifts now. Just like right now, if a ball is hit back up the middle, there's no reason for Detweiler to try to field it because his shortstop's behind second base. And the last thing you want to do as a pitcher is have a ball come at you and deflect it when you're trying to reach for it, and in reality, let it go. The whole left side of the infield open because Brandon Moss can pull against lefties. He also could hit the ball out to left field, left center if he stays on it.
That one off his foot. 1-2 the count. Moss will be a free agent after this season. A couple of home runs last night in a loss to the Mets.
This one down the line, a cutter coming into his power and foul pole back on the playing field and gets a left-hander the next time. But not enough offense as the Mets put 10 runs on the board.
The Cardinals lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. Moss goes the other way. Davis backhands it. Moss with a big turn, and he'll hit the brakes.
Well, the one part of the game of Chris Davis is he does not throw especially well. I mean, as far as accuracy, but he gets the ball quickly. And Brandon Moss, in reality, with 2 outs, should have gone for 2. Kind of pushed the envelope a little bit. He started, but Chris Davis getting the ball quickly down the line, and once he got it back in quickly, and by doing that, it stopped Brandon Moss at first. He's rounding, think I'm going to go for 2, and then put on the brakes, and he really hit the cutoff man.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things, and sometimes your scouting reports on outfielders throwing arms, how well within on the situation. Maybe Brandon just wanted to talk to Alonso.
Yeah, probably knows him a little bit better.
Yeah. And if he got in a second, a little bit farther away for the guys to talk to them. You're right about Brandon Moss as a free agent. And remember, the A's traded him to Cleveland for Joey Wendell. He did not have a particularly great year there. The Cardinals got him the stretch run, and with the injury to Matt Adams, he's playing outfield, playing first base, and 25 home runs. That's a great way to go into free agency.
Yeah, he'll be 33 in September. So who knows, he may stay right here in St. Louis, but he'll get a nice contract from somebody.
He can talk, man. If he got paid on his ability to talk, he'd be a millionaire. Or most, well, he already is, but you know, he's making the money, but he loves to talk.
Healy has it. He'll go to second, and the throw is a little bit wide, but Muncy keeps his foot on the bag side, retired. So 2-1 Cardinals as we head to the fourth.
A great fleece blanket is presented by Xfinity. Monday, September the 5th, you can be one of 15,000 fans to take home this green and gold fleece blanket before the A's 1:05 p.m. Labor Day matinee against the Los Angeles Angels. Get your tickets now at athletics.com/tickets.
2-1 Cardinals lead. It's the top of the fourth. That's Lou Brock.
Oh, man.
He's awesome.
You know, the Cardinals, if you think about a couple of trades they made and who they received. Gary Templeton for Ozzie Smith, shortstop Hall of Famer. Ernie Broglio for Lou Brock.
It's good scouting.
Wow. Two of the all-time greatest trades the franchise can make. Lou Brock, of course, until Rickey Henderson came along, had the all-time stolen base record for most in a single season and most career. And Rickey, of course, broke both. But
Lou Brock, there he is, folks.
938. Of course, Rickey got number 939 at the Coliseum against the Yankees. Over 3,000 hits. Roberto Clemente Award. He's just a star. Tremendous star.
I want to see him.
Well, one of the first, not only is a great hitter, but the stolen base at feet first, too, Cap. Take a look. No hit first slide for him. Feet first all the time, man. But what he could do swinging the bat. Number 20, of course, his speed. But I remember him as the first ever to get the extended lead at first. The left-handed pitcher. And they go, oh, I got him picked off. As soon as they threw to first,
he would take off.
He would take off. He got more stolen bases. And really, you see guys do that now. Of course, one of the retired numbers, number 20. But you see players who do that, but it all started with Lou Brock.
Davis is called out on strikes.
Well, painted the outside corner in this two-seamer. That's the same one that Weaver's using to the left-handers with catcher Yadier Molina going to the inside part of the plate.
That's Fetty, right? When you, of course, the trade, Lou Brock, Cubs traded to the Cardinals. One of the worst trades ever, or best trades ever, depending what team you're on. But if you look at Lou Brock's 3 years with the Cubs before he was traded, he was okay, but not anything special. He hit 263, 258, 251. Stole 24 bases one year, 16 the next. So he wasn't hitting a lot of home runs. He was okay. Nothing more than that.
But like you said,
still,
good
he was
scouting,
young and then
scouting. Yeah.
And then he got traded in 1964, midway through the '64 season. Alonso drives one to right. Scotty has it. It's funny. With Chicago in 1964, he hit 251, and then he was traded to the Cardinals. And when he got to the Cardinals, he hit 348. But that was it.
That's it. Yeah.
Cubs were in trouble at that point, and he just went on to just be one of the all-time greats.
Well, maybe he'd like playing on artificial surface. The type of hitter that could take advantage of it with his speed. Of course, Busch 2, the combination football baseball stadium before the Cardinals, of course, moved. But he was a great player, but just one of those trades that will always be remembered. And of course, Ozzie Smith, what a great call by the late great Jack Buck. I don't believe. No, good. That was a Go Crazy fan. Go Crazy. It was the Kirk Gibson home run, which nobody could believe, and didn't even want to hear him call that one. But the Go Crazy folks with Ozzie Smith, who was more of a great shortstop defensively and not a home run hitter for sure.
2-0 to Ryan Healy. What do you think about that? If you're the Cubs and you make that trade, and then you see Lou Brock hitting 380 or whatever, and then the Cardinals win the World Series that year.
Exactly. They're the retired numbers. Ken Boyer, great third baseman.
Up the middle, and Healy extends that hitting streak. He is now 12 games for the rookie third baseman. Talked about him in the open of our show.
This is what he does so well, and of course seeing Weaver for the first time, as all the A's are, but up the middle, solidly hit. No chance for Carpenter, the second baseman.
Here's Simeon, who doubled his first at bat, right on the outside corner.
Well, and you said it best, Kip. When he was traded to the Cardinals, they won the World Series, and the last World Championship for the Cubs was 1908.
Exactly.
You know, they're trying to do it this year, but Cubs have not won since '08. The Cardinals have had a number of World Championships since that trade.
Close pitch, 1-1 to Marcus Simeon.
Bob Melvin at home plate a long time tonight. Took out the lineup card so he could get the ground rules, as the A's had not been here since 2006, the inaugural season. 2004, 2010, my mistake. And then, of course, when you're here every 6 years, you want to find out what the ground rules are. I think in 2006 is when the Cardinals won the World Championship. The A's were at Old Stadium 2004, 2010 here, as they were watching this stadium being built.
Two pitch. Fouled up, facing of the second level. .64 pitches for young Luke Weaver. Strike 3 call. 7 strikeouts in 4 innings for Weaver, and the A's strand a runner. Bottom of the 4th coming up. 2-1 Cardinals. Is brought to you by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. Ray, did you know that there's a chess Hall of Fame and it's located right here?
No.
In St. Louis?
You play chess?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't.
That's why I wasn't familiar with it being here in St. Louis.
Chess, I guess
that's a big something. Part of the chess
Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that.
Awesome.
That's good stuff.
Molina skies one, but in the ballpark as Coco Crisp hustles over into left center field. So Yadier Molina swinging early again, flies out.
Yadier just loves to catch, doesn't he?
Get back behind the plate.
I think Yadier says, just let me keep calling those pitches in, working with these pitchers and let them do their thing.
So one away. Here's Johnny Peralta. Peralta hit a fly ball to right field in the second inning. So Ray, you grew up in Marion, Illinois. That's not far from here. How far?
120 miles
120
southeast.
miles.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, now with the new freeway, I think it's a 64 heading east, 57 south. Probably get there in half the time that it took whenever I came up here before. So it's.
So you saw Sportsman's
Yes,
Park
I did.
and
Yeah.
Busch Stadium 1, as they like
Right.
to call it, which was just right over there on the other side of the left field part of the stadium. That's where the old ballpark was.
Well, I was confused because Augie Busch and the family bought the Cardinals at 53, and they named Sportsman's Park Busch 1. Because I got confused when I saw Busch 1, 2, and 3. I said, wait a minute, what about Sportsman's Park?
That's right, they changed it.
They changed the name, to Busch Stadium. Busch
So
1.
technically, this is Busch 3.
It's a third stadium.
Yeah,
It's
third
a third stadium, right? And that's But yeah, the older stadium, the second one, technically that was the first of the modern type stadiums.
Yep.
Of course, that was a multi-purpose. That was like the ones that were built multi-purpose, where you had the bowls and you played football and baseball and had the artificial surface. Whitey Herzog came in and changed everything in St. Louis. They had not won in a long time, but he changed, especially with that stadium.
Here's your guy.
Yep.
Stan the man. Let's check him out.
Played in the 40s. Don't ever try to emulate his stance, because, and the amazing thing about him, if you look at the triples, I mean, he had home runs. I mean, he was a complete player. And in one year, he had 20 triples in one season. Could play the harmonica. Number 6 will never be worn. Of course, he and his country slaughter, number 9 next to him. And Stan the Man Musial. He got the nickname The Man in Brooklyn. When he came to the plate, and the fans said, "Here comes the man again." So they named him The Man, Stan the Man. 20-time All-Star.
Wow. 3 times he won the MVP.
Yep. The
3,600 hits.
The guy had 3,630 hits. He had the same number at home as on the road.
That's right.
Exactly the same.
That's right.
And yet a rainout cost him a home run. So he could have, but I guess it's meant to be, to have the exact same number of hits at home and on the road. But just a tremendous player. Not a bad guy to idolize as you're growing up as a kid, to watch the man play.
Count stays 0-2.
We showed in our open, Albert Pujols was playing for the Cardinals in 10 before he signed the big contract, and still give him a lot of credit because they called him the El Hombre, the man. He said, no, there's only one man. I've said it before, but a lot of credit to Albert Pujols as he played here. He said there's only one man that ever played here. And it's not Grichuk. Wow. Second deck shot, but foul.
Grichuk's got good power. 17 home runs. Everybody in this Cardinals lineup hits the ball out of the ballpark.
Well, you're talking about their minor league system and testing it, and John Rooney, as we mentioned broadcast on the radio side, he said We've had players come up here from the minor league system don't even know, and they're producing well. That's a good farm system. When you have that kind of a production, you don't have to go out and try to buy players to bring them up, and they've done a great job. As that curveball was great from Detweiler.
So Detweiler settling in nicely. He's got 5 strikeouts in 4 innings.
Memberships are on sale right now. Whether you want to renew your membership or join the party, visit athletics.com/2017 to find all the benefits that A's membership has to offer, including early bird incentives, exclusive experiences, half-price parking, a flexible ticket exchange program, and much, much more. You can even lock in your 2017 seating location. Visit athletics.com/2017. Join the party. Should be fun. As a team, you get the chance to see a lot of the young players that you're going to be seeing for years to come. A's fans here at Busch Stadium enjoying A's baseball, and nice to see some green amongst the sea of red.
Muncy, Detweiler, and Crisp here in the top of the 5th inning. This is the final interleague series of the year for the A's. It's not been a great year. The A's, they usually do pretty well in interleague. Not so this year. They're 5-12. 3 of those 5 wins came against the Giants. They took 3 out of 4. Pitch to Muncy, and it's a 4-pitch walk.
Well, let's see how Ross Detweiler. Don't even look at Ron Washington. You're going to get a bunt sign, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Knowing how to bunt. And pitchers, of course, the National League, as I mentioned, they take BP and they work on everything, but in the American League, bunt. And they're going to be charging from 3rd, Brandon Moss from 1st.
Got 9 sack bunts in his career.
That's good. He knows how to do it.
A lot of time with the Washington Nationals. Sets up early. Moss looked at second, throws to first.
Make it 10.
So Detweiler, nicely done. Now the A's have the tying run at second base for Coco Crisp.
Had to be holding his breath momentarily, and that's why it's important to bunt the ball to first base, because the first baseman is the one that has to charge late. He has to hold the runner just in case, but by charging later, this ball in the air, Brandon Moss just did not get to it. If he gets to it, obviously it's going to be caught and no sacrifice, but because he was able to bunt it to first base, third baseman charging as soon as he squared around. Didn't have to hold the runner at third. Brandon Moss did at first, but a walk, tying runs at second.
And here's Coco. Strikeout and a single.
Moss thinking and can't do it. No, it's really too early. Can't take the chance, and you got to get the one out, and that's what he did. That's a smart play. Brandon does have a very strong arm as he played the outfield for many years.
I think too, you always think about the sacrifice bunt and the execution. You think about getting the bunt down, but the defensive execution is just as important.
Absolutely.
Because how many times have you seen a sacrifice bunt get screwed up, especially in the National League where you see it more, and then things get crazy because you've allowed the pitcher to get on base. That one lying down the right field line, but it'll be foul.
That's a great point, Kai, because I saw a game in which I want to say Nick Swisher was at first. A simple sacrifice bunt in the 9th inning. Shields with the Angels, the great reliever, fielded the bunt, threw it down the right field line of the Coliseum. Swisher scored for first game-winning run. Yep. Just a simple bunt. Trying to get him to score in position, ended up scoring all the way from first base. Of course, foul territory at the Coliseum. Huge, and it helped the A's win that game.
1-2 pitch, and that one drilled toward the on-deck circle. Valencia was able to get out of the way. Of course, Coco with a .438 batting average with runners in scoring position, still the best in the majors. So the A's have the right man up there. Grounds this one up the middle, right to Jerko. Throws out Coco first. Muncy to third. Coco kind of reached for that one a little bit. So it's up to Valencia, .312 hitter with runners in scoring position. Valencia has fouled out and lined out. Defensive alignment fairly straight up. Pham, the left fielder, is shallow. So I got to ask you, Ray, see the squares in left field and right field, and the left fielder is playing inside that square, and so is the right fielder. Is that interesting to you at all? Never seen that before.
That's a good point. I've seen guys make,
and it's there for, it has to be there for a reason. It's not just.
Well, and you know, that's pretty obvious because we're able to see it.
Yeah.
But I've
see the squares. Look where the left fielder is, and there's a square there, and there's a square in right field. That's not there for aesthetics.
No, that's a great observation because that could be straight up. If you're right in the middle of that straight up left field, and if they say, and actually I think I saw Coco take a note out of his back pocket. So I mean, when they have all these defensive alignments, some guys, as we saw with David Ross, had it on his left forearm where he was talking to at least the pitches, but in the outfield they have markings, whether some they say there's a golf tee and some markings, and this may be one here.
Valencia takes a close pitch a little bit outside. They have to be there for a reason.
Yeah.
So second walk in the game, both in this inning, first and third, and here's Vogt.
Yeah, because if you look at the way the grass is cut, it's very nicely done with the arch in the middle.
We are told, I mean, it said there was a concert here, and I don't know if that could come into play, but they're positioned
exactly
in straightaway right and straightaway left, those patches of grass.
So that's the only place where they had a stage?
I don't know. Vogt, not a bad idea if he gets it down. Peralta, the third baseman, is playing deep and toward the shortstop spot. Stephen Vogt says, hey, get the tying run in any way I can. So the count 0-1. There's hit to center. Grichuk's coming in, and he dives, and he caught it. So off the bat, it looked like it was going to be a base hit, but Randal Grichuk makes a nice diving catch to keep the A's off the board here in the fifth. The fifth inning. Nice play by Grichuk to keep this a 2-1 lead for the Cardinals.
You break back at all on this play. It's a base hit in front. Instead, he got a great jump. Goes to the ground after making a chest tie catch, and Rob Vogt of a base hit in a tie game. That's a charge all the way, giving himself up, and definitely hitting the ground softly to be able to hang on, but a nice play defensively, and well, it's something you really have to win ball games, especially close ones.
Oh, 2 to Tommy Pham from Las Vegas. Yeah. Weaver to follow, and then the top of the order, Carpenter. Strike 3 call, outside corner.
A's fans, this is your chance to meet all-star catcher and fan favorite Stephen Vogt. Stephen will be signing autographs at the Xfinity store at 31055 Courthouse Drive in Union City. That's on Saturday, September the 3rd, from 11 a.m. to noon. This opportunity is limited to the first 150 fans, so be sure to arrive early. Stephen Vogt at the Xfinity store, and that should be a lot of fun. And when you're there to get an autograph, ask him to do his referee impersonation. Sure. Chris Farley could do it all. Stephen is great. And as Rich Hill would say, Steve and I, no, Rich Hill always called him Steve Vogt. Just doesn't sound the same as Stephen Vogt.
Steve Vogt.
Steve Vogt.
He's got his family in town.
Yes, he does.
Randy is here. Talked to Randy this morning for a little while.
Yep. Here's Dad Randy, Alyssa, the 2 kids, and 1 on the way. So all good for the Vogt family.
1-2 to the pitcher, Luke Weaver. There's a line drive, base hit center field. Got a reach for it, did not quite get it. So on a 1-2 pitch, the pitcher lines a single to center.
Well, you've seen Yadier Molina and the way he's moved off the plate. Stephen Vogt wanted it away. This pitch is center cut. Right down the middle, and I don't care whether you're a pitcher position player, you make a mistake on the fastball like that, it will be hit hard. So we'll see. He didn't ask for a jacket. He said, I don't need a jacket. I think it's warm enough.
Yeah, you will not need a jacket on a night like tonight.
But maybe getting him on the base paths, let him run a little bit, maybe tire him out.
Carpenter rolls it foul. So here's that National League thing, Ray, where the pitcher gets on base.
Yep,
and
exactly.
it just seems like weird things happen when the pitcher gets on base.
It's like when you lead off walk to somebody, but no, I agree with you, and especially, and you have to realize that pitchers do take batting practice, and they're going to do things out of the ordinary that pitchers in the American League don't do. Detweiler did a great job of walking or sacrificing.
You're right. It almost does feel like a leadoff walk, even if the pitcher gets on with 2 outs.
Yeah.
It feels like a win for the opposition when the pitcher gets on base. Carpenter way out in front of that one. 1-2. Carpenter singled and scored in the first, struck out in the third. Carpenter, an all-star again this year for the 3rd time. Fourth in the National League in on-base percentage, 7th in the league in walks. He's always among the league leaders in walks.
And we have talked about leadoff hitters who power hitters. Of course, he has 16 home runs. But the prototypical leadoff hitter is one who takes a lot of pitches and draws walks, has a good on-base percentage. And you figure if you can get on base, set the table for the middle part of the batting order, it's going to create success for your team.
Right field. Valencia going back. Couple steps onto the warning track, and he makes the catch. So 2 outs, and here's Jed Jerko. .72 pitches total for Detweiler. Has not had a real bad inning pitch count wise. Jerko, good swing.
Now this is the difference in the game. Jerko, the home run on the pitch that center cut again, similar to the pitch to Weaver, but this one left field. 3rd home run that been given up by Detweiler as a starter. 4th start. Of course, the big one was the slam by I don't even want to mention named Beltrade in Texas. That turned out to be the big one. Jose Abreu got him in his last start. But I think, Kite, the good news about both pitchers tonight is they've gotten to hit twice. If you're a pitcher and you get to hit, that means your club is doing well and you're doing well. But maybe the next time through, if the A's are still trailing by a run, we may see a pinch hitter for Detweiler.
Just 1-2 the count.
Just 2 hits following the 2 hits the first inning. It's only 4 that he's given up.
Close pitch. 2-2.
The other coverage called a fastball down the middle, low though, to Coco Crisp leading off the game for the Athletics. But since then, nothing low has been called.
Simeon has it. He'll go to second. Side retired. So the hit by the pitcher does no damage for Detweiler, and we're headed to the 6th inning. 2-1 Cardinals. Is brought to you by Kelly Moore Paints, celebrating 70 years as your neighborhood paint store. Out to be a beautiful night here in St. Louis with the Cardinals leading the A's 2-1, top of the 6th.
So far the main thing, and I don't want to say anything beyond the fact that it hasn't rained yet. They were talking rain that maybe would be coming in sometime during the game, maybe not hard enough to delay the game, but fortunately it has been a good night. Except for the score, the A's still trailing 2-1.
Both pitchers have done a nice job. Detweiler 6 strikeouts in 5 innings. Weaver 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. He'll face Chris Davis, Yonder Alonso, and Ryan Healy.
Usually a starting pitcher will stand behind the mound and kneel or take his cap off, say a few words. Weaver does it every inning he goes to the mound.
Yep.
So he's talking a lot.
Maybe not Mark the Bird Fidrich.
Oh, no.
But that was one of a kind.
Yeah, he would talk the baseball. And boy, we never thought the baseball would talk back. If it ever did,
I think it did
trouble.
to him.
To him, it did.
A little bit outside, 1-1. Davis has grounded out and struck out.
Well, you hear pitchers usually talk about, well, had a good game plan. Catcher did a great job. That's always significant for a catcher to get the kind of compliments from the pitcher. But I would have to think it's pretty consistent for the Cardinals pitcher to say it about Yadier Molina. That if he does the job, and you have good catchers, Posey with the Giants, Molina here. See Lucroy now with the Rangers, Stephen Vogt. I mean, you have catchers that really rely on doing their job behind the plate. And that's their main objective. And it's good to see because it has become more, every position is an offensive position. But they're the Gold Gloves. Talking about bench and Ivan Rodriguez, bench number 2. Ivan Rodriguez, 13 of them. Bob Boone, Sundberg, Bill Freehand. But Yadier Molina, as long as he plays, you have to figure he is going to be top of the list when it comes to the Gold Glove. Maybe not 16 that Brooks Robinson got and Jim Cott got. Greg Maddux got a bunch. Mike Matheny did. By the way, that's David Bell, his bench coach, next to him.
Yeah.
The son of Buddy Bell, grandson of Gus Bell.
He's playing third by Peralta. Peralta flips it across, and they get Davis. So Johnny Peralta gets decent play at third.
Well, usually off the bat, Chris Davis hits them hard, but you see where Peralta was playing with 2 strikes and playing deep, which he's able to cut across in the shortstop position of the 5.5 hole. And rob Chris Davis of a base hit.
Here's Yonder Alonso. It's interesting with a guy like Yadier Molina, right? He's such a great defensive catcher. So, and you want that. It's also great when at a marquee position like that, he's a middle of the order hitter.
That's true. Yeah.
But it also can make it difficult when you have a middle of the order hitter who's a catcher, because you got to rest him sometimes. I know the Giants have that situation with Posey. Here's probably your best offensive player, but you got to rest him sometimes. And it's the same type of situation with Molina. And really, I mean, he's been a run producer his whole career.
Yeah. And you can see more and more that he is a catcher and a catcher behind the plate.
I think so, yeah.
And you think, and you mentioned Buster Posey, that's a good comparison because Posey, everyday catcher. But look at the weather difference in San Francisco, home games versus here in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just think, you know, when you have the production and you coincidentally you have 2 former catchers, Bruce Bochy in San Francisco with Buster Posey, and former catcher Mike Matheny with Yadier Molina here. They both realize the importance of those 2 guys catching defensively, but also their offensive production, and probably the best players on the clubs. Nothing against the other players, but I mean, when you have a catcher, like you said, that's hitting in the middle part of the batting order and producing, that's pretty special.
And then, and that's the thing too. That's why it's so hard to take a guy out, because not only are they producing, but look how important they are behind the plate.
Exactly.
So when they're not in the lineup, it's a double whammy.
Yeah. How far Molina moves out. It is kind of interesting and a clinic watching him. And again, it's nothing against any other catcher, but Molina is as casual and relaxed behind the plate I think you'll ever see in a catcher. He calls the game, he blocks balls, he throws. He's got the complete package, and to be hitting fifth as he is, he wants the slider outside. He'll move way off the plate, try to get a chase slider with 2 strikes.
Now the count stays 0-2. Healy a ground out and a single. Extended his hitting streak to 12 games with that 4th inning base hit. Coming off a big series against the Indians where he went 6 for 10 with a couple of doubles. Molina sets up outside again. Off the end of the bat, Peralta scoops it up. Throws low, Moss digs it outside, retired. 3 ground ball outs for Luke Weaver. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Cardinals 2, A's 1. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Most home runs by left-handed hitters since 2012. Brandon Moss is in the top 10, 120. Fair amount coming with the Oakland Athletics. Brandon Moss. One hit hard. Once he can't get it, either can Alonso.
Once he's playing in the outfield. Wow. Talk about a ball hit hard.
We've seen him do that before.
Yeah. And in fact, he's on the disabled list with a bad ankle. But it was hit hard, and he rolled it a little bit when he left the batter's box.
Scott. Moss is 3 years with the A's. He hit 21 home runs, 30 home runs, and 25 home runs. That was 2012, 13, and 14. Those were good years.
Oh, they were great, especially how about Colorado when he joined the club and hit one in the 2nd deck, one in the 3rd deck. I mean, he was crushing the ball when he first joined the club. Darren Bush was his manager of AAA in 12 when he was called up. And he went to Darren Bush. It's a great story, worth repeating. And see what he did. 2012 to 14. Of course, the All-Star in 14 brought tears to his eyes. 76 home runs. But he's playing the outfield. Went to Darren Bush. He said, I won't get to the big leagues as an outfielder. Can I play first? He said, had you? He said, yes. Had never played. And now he's a first baseman.
Yep.
Came to the big leagues.
First baseman.
Exactly. He's made himself very good first baseman. So Darren Bush was his manager in Sacramento. Darren, of course, now the hitting coach after being in the bullpen. But doing a good job as the A's hitting coach. But manager at AAA. So give him a lot of credit for really allowing Brandon Moss to play first base. And when the A's called and said, who's hot? Well, Brandon Moss was hot. And boy, he proved it. He's been in the big leagues ever since. Oakland traded to Cleveland, to St. Louis, and a decision to make for the 6-year free agent after this year.
Strike to Stephen Piscotty.
Bay Area product.
Yeah. Out our way.
Pleasanton, California. Evidently still makes his home there, at least reported.
Went to Amador Valley High School, which is right in downtown Pleasanton.
Yeah, yes it is.
You can't miss it if you're.
I wonder if he and Brandon Crawford were
Probably rivalries.
Yeah.
Piscotty went on to Stanford.
Yes, he did. They
And
say
Crawford went to UCLA, I believe.
Yeah, they say when you talk to Piscotty, he gives that look. Let me think about this. It's like an engineer degree or something, you know. But give him credit because he was playing and went back to Stanford to fulfill his obligation to get his degree. Actually, Jason Castro did the same thing, catcher for the Astros.
Chris Davis hustling over, and Davis makes the catch. So Piscotty out in front of that one just a little bit. One out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, and look at the A's in the top of the 7th, bottom 3 of the batting order, which means the 9th place hitter Detweiler. So if he can get through this 6th inning, there is bullpen activity for the Cardinals, and you'd think for the Athletics. Right now, if he would come out, it'd probably be a double switch, something that Bob Melvin, managing in Arizona, is very familiar with. But I think ideally to get Detweiler, if he can get through this inning, then maybe pinch hit for him, depending on the situation in the 7th. Right now, though, it's getting close to the time when you do go to the bench for both teams.
Matt Bowman, right-hander, starts to throw. A little bit outside to Yadier Molina, who has struck out and hit a fly ball to center field. For the A's, it's Ryan Dole. A's bullpen is in left center. Cardinals bullpen is in right center.
And it must be well air conditioned left in the bullpen for the A's because Emo's got a big sweatshirt on.
Big old sweatshirt. Little flare. Muncy out, can't get it. Read well by Moss, and he's going to go to third. So Molina pokes one into right center. First and third, one out.
Well, you're right about Brandon Moss. He knew where the outfielders were playing. He knew where the ball was, and he took off. He almost took off like there were 2 outs. Now Bob Melvin's going to the bullpen, and it will not be a double switch, as he's going to go to Ryan Dole to try to get out. Get the A's out of the inning. If you double switch, you have to go directly to the umpire to make the switch before going to the mound.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. 4th, the A's will celebrate the 18th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Day presented by Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and supported in part by Athena Bottled Water, Sutter Health, Nelson Staffing, Comerica Bank, State Roofing Systems, Drake's Brewing, and BDA. 10,000 fans will receive breast cancer awareness wristbands and $10 from every Drake's beer purchased at the Coliseum that afternoon. And go to Breast Cancer Awareness. Purchase your special tickets now at Athletics. So a pivotal point in the game. It's the Cardinals leading 2-1. Detweiler leaves after 5 1/3.
Well, a great outing. I mean, that was pretty impressive considering the first 2 batters reached and he was down 2-0. And you know, Ryan Dull will try to prevent a couple of those runners from scoring and increase the lead for the Cardinals. Dull, 59th game. And of course, 36 for 36 to start his season, retiring inherited runners, and Bob Melvin hoping for a strikeout or a ground ball to get out of this inning.
This is popped up. Coco hustling in, Davis hustling in. Moss is tagging. Here comes Moss. The throw to the plate is cut off. Throw to second. And now there's going to be a rundown. And Muncy hustling and puts the tag. That's on Molina, but the run does come in to score. So Peralta gets the sacrifice fly. Moss comes in to score, and the Cardinals lead 3-1. Brought to you by PG&E, together building a better California. So the Cardinals tack on a run and they lead 3-1, top of the 7th inning. And the Cardinals have gone to their bullpen. So Luke Weaver done after 6 innings. He pitched well. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. It's Matt Bowman comes in. Bowman appearing in his 45th game.
Well, no 90s fastball that he will sink, and also throws a split finger fastball, which you see some guys throw, not as many as it used to be, but he will feature the 2 and 4 seam fastball with a slider and the split finger fastball. And I would think that for Mike Matheny getting 6 innings out of his rookie pitcher, making just his 4th major league start, make it 3rd major league start and his 1st ever here at Busch Stadium. Pretty impressive.
He got a chance to get his 1st major league win. This has been a bit of a problem area for the St. Louis Cardinals, their bullpen. And they got some very good pitchers down there, but it has been an issue. Trevor Rosenthal lost his closer's job. Cardinals have had problems in the bullpen, and they've had problems defensively. Those are really 2 biggest issues for them. It's Sungmin Ho, who has been terrific. It's kind of been the lone bright spot for the relievers. So we'll see if the A's can take advantage of that. 2-1 to Marcus Semien. Hard slider, 3-1. So Muncy to follow, and then the pitcher spot. Jerko ranges to his left. He throws out Marcus Semien.
And the last out, Ryan Dahl gets a shallow fly ball. You think Brandon Moss may be thrown out, charging in his Coco, and the ball is cut off for a number of reasons. Of course, we're not going to throw him out at the plate, but Yadier Molina, a good job. Really, if you look, as he stopped, he did not know where Moss was and whether he was going to make it safely to home, because if he had been out at second before Moss scored, the run would have been denied. But Moss hustled on the shallow fly ball and was able to make it easily.
More action for Jerko out on the grass. Throws out Muncy, 2 outs.
That is the last 5 outs on the ground. 3 by, make it 2 by the shortstop, 2 by the third baseman, 1 by the second baseman.
So here's the pitcher spot, and Brett Eibner is going to hit. So Eibner here in the 7th. Bob Melvin goes to the bench for the first time. So Ryan Dahl on the score sheet will go 2/3 of an inning.
Yep. Low strike again to Eibner, something I'm sure that he's watched from the bench and did not expect to have it called. And really, Ryan Dahl did his job. That's a ball that maybe and should have been a stronger throw to the plate to prevent Moss from scoring.
And really, Dahl, and that's why the manager Bob Melvin did not double switch. Dahl's job was to get out of that inning and hopefully keep the Cardinals from scoring.
And I think Ryan Dahl said it best, and he's been so great all season, but he's having now to think about the long season.
Sure.
Something that he's never dealt with, and the job that he has done, the big John Axford starts to get loose in the bullpen, expect to be coming in, but you know, when you see that in a young pitcher, and pitcher in the minor leagues, came up in September, did a great job for the A's, that is Dahl, and made the team out of spring training, but all of a sudden he's trying to endure a 162 game schedule.
And he's pitched a lot.
Yeah, and in reality, up till last year, he had been pitching 5 months and going home. Last year, he pitched in September, and just trying to figure out a way to get through it. And a lot of young players have to deal with that.
Two-two pitch, down and in. So from 0-2 to 3-2. Payoff pitch to Brett Eibner. Again, Molina sets up outside. And it's a walk. So Bowman at the first 2 outs walks Eibner.
Talking to Darren Bush about, and we have discussed the lack of walks by the Athletics in this season, and of course when they've gotten them, do they score? And I thought he brought up a good point. He said that the hitters need to zone in through their zone. In other words, look for a pitch in your zone as a hitter. And he said walks are a byproduct of hitters swinging at pitches in their zone and not swinging a lot of pitchers' pitches out of the zone. Zone is a strike zone.
Bowman has it. So Coco goes after the first pitch. He's retired. And so are the A's. 7th inning stretch from Busch Stadium. 3-1 Cardinals.
A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota's Labor Day clearance event is here. For Labor Day only, get $2,500 total cash back on the redesigned 2016 Prius. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Follow Athletics Baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment, any moment, with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball, on your phone and your tablet.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. 3-1, Cardinals lead. John Axford comes in. Third pitcher of the night. 4-4 with a 4.59 ERA. 56th appearance for John Axford. He'll face Grichuk, Pham, and then the pitcher spot. First pitch is a strike. Indians still leading the Rangers. It's now 6-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning in Texas. Astros and the Rays are tied 3-3 in the 7th in Houston. The Mariners leading the White Sox 3-1 in the 8th in Chicago. That was a marquee pitching matchup. Felix Hernandez and Chris Sale. Right now, the Mariners have the lead. The Rangers 7.5 game lead over Seattle, 8.5 over the Astros. We'll be in Houston Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Good pitch by Axford.
And John's got to feel pretty good about coming back to St. Louis, pitching in Milwaukee, where he had 42 saves one season. And a little quick pitch here as he came up, not taking a lot of time out of the stretch, came up and let it go and nailed it perfectly. Sean Doolittle expected to come back. We hope sooner than later. We'll see what happens with that. And of course, Axford closing as he has done. Ryan Matson right now the closer for the Athletics. So the back end of the bullpen good right now. Total, the A's have only given up 3 runs. They've only scored 1.
Well, they gave up 3 total runs to the Indians.
How about that? Yeah, it's.
So the pitching's done a good job. A walk and a strikeout for Tommy Pham. And now 3-0. Jeremy Hazelbaker, left-handed hitter, has come out into the on-deck circle.
He's their premier pinch hitter. He got 4 home runs pinch hitting, something like that. I mean, he's been pretty good.
Cardinals with 2 in the first and 1 in the 6th. He's got their lone run in the 2nd on Alonso home run. Strike 3-2. Pham was headed to first. Umpires love that. They just love that.
Good high cut fastball about belt high, and he's thinking, I'm going to head to first base and let the pinch hitter, and no, at least it didn't throw his bat. That's even worse.
And then he strikes him out. So that's a tough at bat for Pham.
With another cut fastball.
So A's pitchers now with 8 strikeouts tonight.
Oh, this cutter just started to run, but this one down over the top a little bit more, and good velocity. Think about Axford. When he throws, everything is hard, and that's a great one. High top shoes with the pants pulled up high.
So here's Hazelbaker. There you are, Ray. 4 home runs as a pinch hitter. That's a good weapon to have.
Difference in the American League and National League, of course, in the National League, you rely on your pinch hitters because they pinch hit 4 pitchers, as is the case. And that time, looking fastball, got a breaking ball. In the American League, you get platooning, which requires pinch hitters as well. But for some reason, the National League, it just seems, well, he's sitting dead red there and got the curveball, which is a good call by Stephen Vogt after missing with the first pitch. And that's why pinch hitter is up to let it go as quickly as possible.
Curve, looped foul.
But pinch hitting is not easy, but some have made it a great baseball life. Think of Manny Mota. Excellent. Been so in some of the recent times, but the magic wand.
Rolled foul. Axford got in on Hazelbaker. Axford trying to strike out the side. Vogt sets up outside, and the pitch is a little high. Eighth inning. These will have Valencia, Vogt, and Davis. Not close. So 3-2 the count to Jeremy Hazelbaker. Fouled straight back. Axford came right at him, 96 miles an hour. The crowd tonight, 40,221. Beautiful Friday night.
Be a great place to play, wouldn't it? Kind of a crowd like this. They've drawn.
It's about what they average.
They draw over 3 million every year. Well, last 10 or 12 years anyway.
Yeah, 12 straight years over 3 million. They'll do it again. Just missed inside. Axford thought maybe he could get strike 3.
Well, this is why, because he's got the cutter to go in, the two-seamer to bring back. Fielded covered that inside, and Hazelbaker threw his bat as quickly as he did.
So now to the top of the order in Matt Carpenter. The Cardinals have gone over 3 million, 12 straight years, and 17 out of the last 18 years. Pitch is bounced fair. Alonso grabs it right at the bag. Side retired. 8th inning coming up. Cardinals 3, A's 1.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Hey, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. Know it all with Sportsnet Central, brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30. It's on CSN Bay Area. A's Cardinals highlights as always. 49ers and Packers just getting started. Santa Clara. Cal is in Australia to play Hawaii. How about that? So a lot going on with the NFL and college football just getting set to get started. So all that coming up tonight on Sportsnet Central. Dave Feldman and Ed Freed will host.
Wait a minute, you said Cal versus Hawaii in Australia?
Sydney, Australia.
That's neat. What a great
fun.
trip. I'd love to go to Australia. You ever been there?
No.
I haven't either. I'd love to go there.
Yeah.
Jeez, that'd be a great place to visit.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Kevin Segrist comes in, pretty good left-hander, 5-2 with a 3.02 ERA. First pitch to Danny Valencia is a strike.
Another fastball pitch, a 2-4 seam. Predominantly a fastball, curveball, and changeup, but he just likes to come right at the hitters, and most bullpen relievers do that now. Just take the fastball, whether 2 or 4 seam, and go right at the hitter.
Segrist having a good year this year. He had a great year last year. He was 7-1 with a 2.17 ERA, 81 appearances raised. So he pitched in half of the Cardinals games last year. He had 90 strikeouts in 74 innings. Tough to match that, but he's doing a decent job this year. 1-2 now to Valencia. Vote to follow, and then Davis. So heart of the order for the Athletics, trailing by a pair. Cardinals play Valencia to pull, not a full shift. That one not close. Just hit Valencia.
To the back foot, seriously to the back foot, and jump out of the way. Do not want to get hit. Some say take one for the team. Sorry. It's too hard, especially around the ankles.
No, you know when you take one for a team, bases loaded, Game 7 World Series.
That's a good one.
Swing. Rattled around and Fielding Culver.
Well, check out Fielding Culbreth. Off the bat, off the glove, off the chest protector. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm a gamer. I can handle it.
Just a bit inside. Close pitch. So full count. Valencia has grounded out, lined out, and walked. And the Cardinals picked up a left-hander out of the bullpen. Trade deadline, Zach Duke.
Yes, they did. Yeah,
they got a couple pretty good left-handers in their bullpen. Line drive right at Peralta. He just reached up. Tough break for Valencia. 1 out.
Well, positioning, sometimes you get lucky. And as a hitter, sometimes unlucky because you don't hit a ball any harder. Just happened to be a Peralta's there. Didn't even step. He just spread out, lifted his glove, and the former shortstop for the Indians, the Tigers, and even the Cardinals, but now at third base.
Here's Vogt. First pitch strike. Peralta plays in a little bit. Well over with semi shift on for Stephen Vogt. And a quick 0-2 count. Vogt batted with runners at first and third and 2 outs in the 5th inning. Hit a soft line drive that Grichuk came in and made a diving catch on. works its way off the plate. Vogt has also struck out a couple times, so 0 for 3. The A's have just 4 hits. Cardinals with 6. Some of that one rolls it past Mike Eldreddy. Mike Eldreddy spent some time here as a coach.
He did. Hitting coach and bench coach. Of course, he lives down in the Santa Cruz area. I said, hey, you're back home. He says, no, my home is where I will be when we get off this road trip. He knows where home is. And probably will be there on the off day next Thursday.
Reach for it, poke foul.
And Vogt checking with Field and Culbreth about the location of the pitch to see if it was in an area to swing. You better protect with 2 strikes. He knows as a catcher and get into protect mode.
Very close. 2-2. Pretty good pitch by Segrist.
Yeah. Aleda looked or set up outside, really off the plate, probably trying to get Vogt to swing.
This one hit high in the air to shallow left. Tommy Pham is under it. So 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Make sure you join us tomorrow. We'll have game 2 of the 3-game series. It'll be Zach Neal and Mike Leake. Mike Leake, big free agent signing for the Cardinals. Our coverage begins at 3:30 with A's pregame live, and you get complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. So we start an hour earlier tomorrow night. Chris Davis got a little piece of it, and it's a strike. 0-1. Davis is 0 for 3.
And that run that Brandon Moss scored on made it a 2-run game. That was big.
Yep.
Because Chris Davis and really several of the A's one swing away from tying the game when it's a 1-run deficit. But 2 makes it a little bit different. You have to get a runner on base, and now you're getting to the back end of the bullpen. Moss, a couple of home runs last night, a couple of hits tonight against his former team, both against Detwiler, the lefty.
Couple small things in this game. I hate to nitpick, but it is what it is. First inning. Coco would tell you probably should have caught the ball off the bat of the leadoff man Carpenter. He broke back a couple steps, came in, could not quite get it, and the next guy hits a 2-run homer.
Put him in the stretch of the second batter in the game. And you know, if you go back to Baltimore in the first game Detwiler pitched, it was the controversial play at the plate, overturned, out, and he went on to pitch 8 shutout innings.
Inside corner, strike 3 call. Chris Davis doesn't agree, but he is retired, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals 3, A's 1. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 1-4-0 for the A's, 3-6-0 for the Cardinals. Good pitching by both starters tonight. The only run for the A's was Yonder Alonso's solo home run in the second inning. Jed Jerko, a 2-run shot in the first for the Cardinals. So more good pitching, but right now the A's coming up on the short end, trailing 3-1. J.B. Wendelken comes in. Big right-hander appearing in his 4th game for the Athletics. And he's going to face Jerko, Moss, and Piscotty. Trying to keep it a 2-run deficit. And Jerko steps in. The home run, he's also lined out and grounded out. First pitch, foul back. The Royals won again, Ray. They beat the Red Sox in Boston 6-3.
Isn't that amazing?
So the Royals keep charging hard. They have won 11 out of their last 12. So they are making themselves known, and we still go to Kansas City for a 4-game series.
That's right. Another big series for the young players in the Oakland A's, and talk about Seattle, 4 games to end the season.
Foul back. Blue Jays won tonight big, 15-8 over the Twins. So the Blue Jays will jump into first place all by themselves, with the Red Sox dropping a game back, the Orioles dropping 2 back.
Somebody's going to be seriously disappointed.
I think so.
Come the end of the season. End of the season being on October the 2nd. The regular season. The new season begins early October.
Yeah, you're right.
And to think that 30 teams start the season and only 10 will finish the season and play in October. Well, it may be because the season ends October 2nd, so it could be more, but theoretically a postseason in October. So some will be building for the future. Some will try to make it all happen in one season this year.
Healy fires across. Moss is out. Yeah, the Yankees beat the Orioles 14-4. So suddenly the Orioles have a little bit of pitching issues. Tillman going under the save. It's the closer. He's pretty good.
And you have to wonder too, Kite, because as you get into September, of course, at that point you can make trades, but they're not eligible for postseason. But you start getting teams that have injured players. They don't care. They want to try to get into October, which means they may try to trade for players that teams are out of it, and maybe potentially players are going to be free agents, and they can help them. And ideally before the 1st of September, which will be next Wednesday. Next Thursday is the 1st. The A's will be off on that day. So it should be interesting. It always is this time of the year.
Three 3-0 now to Scotty. Mariners still leading the White Sox. It's 3-1, bottom of the 9th in Chicago. The 3-0 pitch is a touch inside. Scotty walks. You look at the wild card standings, the Orioles were the second wild card team. They still are, but they lost, and the Tigers won. The Tigers are just one game back of that second wild card spot.
And never count them out, because they've got some big hitters in the middle of their lineup.
They're doing a lot of this without Zimmerman.
That's true.
Verlander's pitched very well this year. So that's the updated wild card. You see Detroit just one game back, and if the Mariners could hang on, they're closing in on it. And the Mariners have just won, so that game is now a final. The Mariners win 3-1, so they're just 2 back. So that is interesting stuff right there. The Cardinals right in the middle of the National League wild card race. I do turn into a bigger fan in August and September, because it really, when you start to kind of see the wild card and the standings kind of start to take shape, it is fun to scoreboard watch.
Oh, wow.
Scott Aiken got maybe the biggest jump in Major League Baseball history. I'm exaggerating, but maybe not by a lot.
And not only, number one, Molina took the pitch, which she should. Number two is a ball. So it worked out well for Molina, who saw this guy take off. He just stepped out and said, you get that kind of jump, I'm not going to swing, not going to do anything, and the pitch is a ball. So now a runner in scoring position. And we have talked about that often, and Yadier Molina did exactly what we've talked about, and that is take a pitch, let the guy steal.
So 2-2 the count. Molina is 1 for 3. Nicely throws out Molina, and a runner is stranded. Last shot for the A's. They trail 3-1. It'll be Alonso, Healy, and Muncy.
Tonight's on to play of the game. He's trying to do a lot. He's making his first, or made his first start here at Busch Stadium, his home park. Also trying to pick up his first Major League win, and all that is looking good for him at this point. But what a night he has had. 95 pitches, 7 strikeouts, 6 innings. Really not much damage at all that the A's, except Alonso's home run. Otherwise, he pitched well, and working with his veteran catcher, this young man, just 23 years young. Man, what a career. If he is drafted in 14 and he's leaning on the rail looking for his first Major League win, A's would like to change that, and Compton will have to do it against a pretty special closer.
Jung-Won Ho, and look at the numbers, 3-2, 1.79 ERA. He's been terrific. His first year pitching in the major leagues here in the United States. Pitched in Korea and Japan for 11 years. So not a young man anymore. He's 34 years old, but with Trevor Rosenthal struggling this year and now on the disabled list, boy, where would the Cardinals be without this guy? He has been very, very good. Under the glove of a diving Jerko, so good start for the A's as Alonso has a leadoff single. And that'll bring up Ryan Healy.
Outside fastball and look fastball after the first one missed. Molina set up outside and with a somewhat of a shift, a little bit anyway, with the shortstop playing a little bit towards second. So the A's have the tying run at the plate, and got some guys up who can hit home runs, especially in this park. So he's 12 for 14 in save opportunities. A pitcher who, coming out of the bullpen, that's his 4 quality pitches, 2 and 4 seam fastball, then the traditional curve, slider, and changeup. But he likes to throw the fastball the most.
Hit hard towards short. Flip to second out there on to first. Double play. Jerko to Carpenter to Moss, and there are 2 outs now here in the ninth.
Taylor made, but Jerko almost threw it too high, and Carpenter went up and got it, stayed, and then over the top with a hard slide coming in by Alonso. But that quickly, Hope, and even quicker, a 6-4-3 double play.
Now here's Simeon, takes a bit outside. Missed again, 2-0. Simeon has a double. He's 1 for 3. And like he was taken all the way, and it's in for a strike. In the air towards center. Grichuk goes back. And he's got it. And the St. Louis Cardinals take game 1 of this 3-game series. And Luke Weaver gets his first major league win. No gets the save. And Ross Detweiler pitched well, but he will get the loss tonight. So the game took 2 hours and 29 minutes. The attendance tonight here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, 40,221. The final score, the St. Louis Cardinals 3 and the Oakland Athletics 1. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil at Bip Roberts starts right now.